Cool. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Yeah, I am good. We're all good to go. Alan, correct me if I'm wrong. Last time we talked about search alerts, correct?
I'm sorry, say again?
I said, correct me if I'm wrong. Last time we talked about search alerts, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Want to make sure that we were in the right, talking about the right stuff today. I didn't want to talk about the
We
same
are.
thing twice in a row. Okay, cool. So, appreciate y'all jumping in today. Apologies for no camera. It has been a long couple nights with baby. I am exhausted. I, I am dead today, but it is good. We are here. It's an exciting topic. It's a topic that I'm actually very passionate about. Um, I love whoever's talking, but I'm sorry, I got to mute you. It's very topic I'm very passionate about. Something a little bit different than uh, than just simply talking kind of like Bold Trail features. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about building that daily system so things don't fall through the cracks. That is like the goal, right? So I'm going to share my screen here and start talking through some stuff. It's kind of an action-packed day. Um, if you would like to follow along, feel free to go ahead and get in a bold trail. We can do these things together. If not, that's also totally fine. This is recorded. And what I'll do is I'll put what I'm going to go through today in the chat. If you guys want to grab that out of it, you can download it. It's a PDF. Um, but essentially, what I want to talk about is when I come into my contacts, having these saved filters, number one, so things don't fall through the cracks. I don't have to remember who to call, what to say, when to say it. It's kind of done for me. And how it's done for me is through these filters, but also through smart campaigns, right? So what I'm going to do today is build smart campaigns to notify me of when I need to talk to somebody and what I need to say, and you get the point, right? But before going in, I think it's important to establish kind of what it is we're talking about, right? So, like, number one, when I click into a contact, like you can see I am here, right under my name, there's this drop down. These little drop down items are going to have this drop down item is going to have a few different options you can select. This is what we call contact statuses. Okay. What I've done in this playbook for you is I've defined what contact statuses are, how I personally choose to use them. Okay. I don't have the end all be all system. I just have a system that tends to work for me that I've been using for about a decade. Uh, and it helps me stay organized and it helps ensure that nothing falls through the cracks for me, right? You don't have to use what I'm using, but I'm going to give it to you anyways in the playbook, okay? So lead status is going to tell you essentially where a client is at in their journey, right? New leads, prospects, active leads, clients, contracts, closed, archive. I'm not going to go through each individual one, but I would encourage you to take a look at the playbook after if you would like to get an idea of how I specifically use each one of these statuses, okay? The important thing I want to talk about kind of goes beyond that, and it's using tags, right? So we have the ability to add hashtags to a lead. You can see down here on like kind of like middle left part of my screen. Using hashtags is what's going to allow us to set up automations through smart campaigns to tell us when we need to call people, when we need to text people, so on and so forth, versus having to try to remember when we have to do these things. Okay. So, how I use hashtags, I have three main hashtags that I'll talk about with you today. And then we'll go ahead and start building together a smart campaign that's going to notify us when we need to call somebody, but it's also going to integrate automated texting, automated emails, etc. Okay. So, number one, hot. Okay. So, the hot hashtag I use to indicate someone is going to purchase within the next 90 days. All right. That's just the vibe I get from conversation. Maybe it's a job transfer. Maybe I'm actively showing them homes. You're a hop. Okay. The goal is I want to continue conversing with you one time per week. So my smart campaign that I build might have text messages, it might have drip emails, but what it's also going to have is a task reminder for me to call you once a week, right? Every 7 days, it's going to say, hey, Adam, you got to get in there. You got to call Alan, right? And maybe I've talked to Alan and I can kind of check that task off as done. Maybe I haven't talked to Alan in a week. Well, there's my friendly reminder to check in with Alan, right? We're going to do that together with a smart campaign. The second tag I use is called warm. These are folks who are going to be purchasing within 3 to 6 months. Again, it is a kind of a vibe, right, based off the conversation that I have. My goal with you is now to have a conversation twice a month, so every other week, right? So we'll use the same example again. I haven't talked to Alan in 2 weeks. I'm going to get a task to show up in my system that says, "Hey, Adam, you got to call Alan and check in with him," right? Text messages, emails are going to go out automated to Alan, but I'm going to get a twice monthly reminder because he has the warm tag to reach out and give him a call. Lastly is cold. These are folks that are looking to buy within beyond 6 months, rather. My goal with you is to talk to you once a month. Same thing, right? Auto text, auto emails done for you. Reminders to call at least once per month. Now, I think it's really important to say that follow-up tags are fluid. So just because you're hot one day doesn't mean you're hot the next. I'm gonna give you a real world example here. Um, Dealing with a client who has a job transfer. This is somebody who says, "Hey, I'm moving in the next 2 months, and I got to buy a house now. My job is moving me within the next 60 days." Well, that's a hot lead, right? I need to show them homes like yesterday. However, I get my weekly reminder to call you, right? And I call them, and they say, "Hey, I got bad news. My job transfer got pushed back 6 months." Right? Now we need to start looking sometime around like the 3 to 4, maybe 5 month range in order to lock you into a home. Well, you're no longer a hot lead according to my definition. Now you're probably a warm lead, right? So instead of talking to you every week and just spamming you and bugging you, well, now I can move you to a new cadence where there's new emails and new text messages, and now I'm going to contact you twice a month versus weekly. Kind of get the point, right? So how do I use, well, actually, before I kind of go forward with there, is there any questions on hashtags for timelines before we go on to the next topic here? You may be asking like, hey, why don't you just use the timeline qualification? Because it's built into Trail. Well, the problem with that is it's more difficult for me to set up automations, right? This whole concept of this call today is using a smart campaign to help automate my follow-up. Well, I can do that very easily with a hashtag, right? So that's why I choose to use that. Alan, go ahead.
I do have a question. Can we like add hashtags when people come into our database automatically? Is there a certain way that we can automatically, when someone signs up and someone engages us a particular way, can we have that attach a tag to them automatically?
Yeah, you definitely can. It would be done via a smart campaign as well. Um, Now, instances of this could be like a specific lead source, or we'll talk about that as we kind of get to it. But yeah, I mean, the answer is yes. You can automate hashtags for sure. So what we're talking about here today, the hot, warm, cold, is going to be more of a manual lift, just because an automated system is not going to know a conversation you have with a lead, right? But um, but yeah, for sure, there's ways to automate hashtags. All right, cool. So we talked about hashtags. Now, what do I do with them? Right. So I want to go to my marketing tab, left side, and I'm going to go ahead and select my Smart Campaign tile here. Again, friendly reminder, you can always search for this stuff. So if I go to the very top of my bold trail, oops, and I use the search icon, I can simply do a search for Smart Campaigns. And it'll take me there, marketing smart campaigns. If I click that, it'll take me to my smart campaign library. All right. My smart campaign library is going to show everything that I have in the system, as well as anything in the system that I can copy and use for my own system. All right. Uh, what I'm going to show today isn't necessarily using something that already exists. It's kind of building something new from scratch, right? We're building something custom today. Now you can use things that were kind of built for you, right? There you have like pre-built content under your system library. So I want to highlight kind of like upper left side of my screen here. If you click on system library, this is campaigns that exist in your guys' system that you can copy and paste. You can add them to your library. you could use that stuff, right? We have like things for open houses and we have things for long-term nurtures and buyer nurtures and seller nurtures. Like there's all sorts of stuff built out, right? So you can use those. The problem with that is it may not be at the right cadence that I want to operate on, which is why I can either use that and then edit it, right? I could just edit the timeline of things or edit the content of things within here. Or I can just build my own, right? I think it's really easy with AI nowadays to build something totally custom and totally unique that's really unique to my individual marketplace. So that's what I'm going to choose to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the Add Campaign button. It's going to pop up a window for me, and now I have to fill out some settings, right? So number one, start campaign when. I have to choose when this campaign starts. I'm going to go ahead and do, for example, I'm going to do a cold lead campaign, right? So my cold lead campaign, remembering back to my playbook, is someone that's looking to purchase beyond 6 months, right? The goal is to have a monthly communication with them via phone call. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, when the hashtag is cold, right? Because that is how I define my cold leads. I want this hashtag to start. Or I want this smart campaign to start. All right. Who is this designed for? For me, it's a buyer or a seller campaign. You can also make adjustments to this, right? You can add additional or remove specific instances here. But for me, it's a buyer or seller campaign. Here's where I have to name my campaign and give it a little bit of a description. Again, this is just for me, my visibility, so I know what it's doing. We'll go ahead and say this is a cold lead nurture drip. And my campaign description, I'm going to talk about what it is. This is a campaign for my cold leads, monthly phone calls plus intermittent text and I really can't type, goodness gracious, text and emails. Uh, None of those are intermittent. We'll just say plus text and email. All right, so I got my campaign. Now we review everything, right? So we say, okay, it starts when the hashtag is cold, designed for buyers and sellers. Here's the name, here's the description. Right. Let's go ahead and finish this up. What you're going to notice when you build a custom campaign, when you fill out all those settings, you would think it takes you directly to your campaign, but it doesn't, right? So it's going to take you back to this screen to where you're probably like, man, I think it's broken. Like, where'd my campaign go? It's in here. We just got to find it, right? So just do a quick search. So I named mine cold. Let's go ahead and find my cold lead nurture drip. Here we go. Here it is right here. If I click into it, I can now start making edits, making adjustments to this campaign itself. I can add actions to this campaign. I'm going to pause there for a second. Is there any questions how I got this far? I know I threw a lot at you really quickly. Before I move on and start building this, is there anything from the group on how we got to this point? If you don't want to speak up, that's fine. This is recorded. You can always watch it back. All right. I'm going to assume we're good. Okay, so inside my campaign, I now can start building out the actual content with it, right? So, okay, let's go ahead and click on add action. First things first, remember, I want to have a monthly conversation with my cold leads, right? Based off my playbook here. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build that out for a few months, right? So I'm going to go ahead, add action, call. Now what's going to happen here is I could set a task reminder for me to call this lead at a certain time, right? So I can say, okay, we'll name this one. We'll call this cold lead call number one. And when do I want it to start? I want it to go to remind me on day 30, right? Every 30 days, I want to have a phone call with you. So on day 30, remind me with a task that's going to say cold lead call number one, right? Now, content over here on the left side, these are going to be notes for me, right? So, like, what do I want this to like remind me in my task? So, I'm going to say this is call number one to your cold lead, All right. And when I save that, what you're going to see is on day 30, part of my campaign now, I'm going to get a task reminder to call, right? You can see it's going to go from the system to me, right? It's not going to the contact. It's not going to the lead. It's going from the system to me to remind me to make my phone call. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing, right? Add action call, and we'll call this one number two instead of number one. And I want this to happen on day number 60 now. And same thing, I'll say this is a uh, call number two to my cold lead, and we'll name that template cold lead call number two. Save that. You'll see I now have two calls built out, one on day 30, one on day 60, right? So I can do this all day. I'll come in here and say call and name this one call number three and say I want this to go out on day 90 and say this is a call number three to my cold lead. Save that. Now I'm going to have one on day 30, one on day 60, one on day 90, right? So you see how I'm doing that. Obviously, I'm not going to build these things out, substantial amount here today. You get the point of what I'm doing here. The goal is to just hopefully get you to understand you can use these smart campaigns for something a little bit different, right? They don't always have to be just emails, just text message. You can use these to help you set tasks. So you don't have to manually do that stuff, right? I'm going to go ahead and pause there for a second. I see a hand up. Brenda, what you got?
Yeah, so I see that you named it call number one, number two, and number two, but
Yep.
we can actually put the person's name in there. Is that correct?
You would not want to do that. The reason why is because the campaign that I'm building is going to apply to a multitude of people, right? Anyone that has the cold hashtag will get um, this specific lead here or this specific campaign here. What you can do, and let me show you what it will look like, Brenda, and I think it'll make more sense. So if I go to like my tasks up here in the upper portion here, right? If I click my tasks, you can see that I have all of these call reminders, right? And it tells me the person's name. So it'll say like call lead Sue Lee, call lead Dave Bruckner, call lead Rusty Smith. So you don't need to put the name in the actual like campaign itself because it's going to tell you in the task who it is you need to call. I hope that answers your question. All right, cool. So moving on from there, we have our calls built out, but now let's say, for example, I want some emails to go out, or I want a text message to go out on my behalf. You can also do that through this campaign window here, right? So when I clicked add action, last time I did call, I can also do emails, text messages, adding tags, removing tags, changing a status of somebody. Like you can use these to automate a big portion of your database, right? So I'm going to say in this case, maybe on day number one, I want a text message to go out, right? And I want it to just say like, hey, like a thank you text message, right? That's what we're gonna say that this is. So we'll go ahead and name this. We'll call this one text number one, and we'll call it cold lead. Now, who is it going to come from, right? Who's the text from? It's from me, the agent, right? And who's it sending to? It's sending to the contact. When do I want this text to go out? In my case here that I'm doing on minute one, right? Or maybe I do like minute five. I want there to be a text message to go out on my behalf, right? So let's think what this actually would look like in the real world, right? So I talk to a lead on the phone. I determine that they're a cold lead. I put the cold hashtag on them. Because that happens, they get this campaign within 5 minutes. So I hang up the phone, click, I add the campaign to their profile. 5 minutes later, they're going to get a text from me that's going to say what I type here. Hey, uh, lead first name. How I got this right here, if you put this little bracket, put this little bracket looking thing here. These are called merge tags. So I can pull in a bunch of different information from that specific person's profile. Really cool stuff to kind of take a look at, but a lot of things that you can use here as well. Last property viewed, uh, property interest, average price they've been looking at, like some cool stuff, right? So for me, I'm just using the first name merge field right now. So I would say, hi, lead first name. Thanks for taking the time to chat today. Looking forward to helping you find your dream home. In the, or I could say maybe like, I know we are quite a bit away, but if you do ever see a property you'd like to check out, please let me know, and I'd be happy to arrange a private showing, something like that, right? Um, and I name my text message like I did before up here at the top. Text number one, cold lead. Now, saving this, let's see what this logic actually looks like. Again, I have a conversation with you. I put you on the hashtag. You get the campaign. 5 minutes in, you get my thank you text message, right? That I just set up, right? So text going to go out on my behalf, right? Day 30, I'm going to get a reminder to call you. Day 60, I get a reminder to call you. Day 90, I get a reminder to call you. Let's say I want to add an email into here, right? Cool. Add action, email, same process, right? Name it, who it's from, who it's to, when do I want it to go out? What's my subject line of the email? What's my content of the email here? Maybe you use ChatGPT. You have ChatGPT build you some cool, fancy looking email, right? Maybe you write it yourself. Like, I don't know. Do what you want to do. Save that. It'll add to your campaign. I'm going to pause there. Questions on how we added actions, why we did it, how we did it. Happy to go back over it again if needed. All right, cool. So I have my campaign done, right? Obviously, it's not done. There's only 4 things here, but dedicate some time, right? Dedicate a couple hours, build out some campaigns for yourself, whatever it may be, right? Maybe you don't want to use my system, but maybe you want to build like a cool monthly newsletter, or maybe you want to build like a campaign for like your open house leads. Like, cool, like take some time, build it. But what do I do when it's done? Right. So in my case, right, following my playbook here, I have hot, warm, and cold. How do I apply this to context now, right? So let's go ahead and go back to my context here. Let's use myself as an example. Let's remove all of my hashtags so we can start totally fresh here. All right, cool. So let's say, for example, I have myself as a new lead, right? New lead into the system. I just came in. I make a phone call. I determine that this lead is a cold lead, right? They're looking to buy, but they're not looking to buy anytime soon, right? What I can do is I can change their status, right? Because they're no longer a new lead. Now they're an active lead. Again, I go over that in the playbook. I didn't go over it today, but it's in the playbook. If you would like to take a look at it, it's all here, right? But now I got to add my tag, right? So I'm going to add my tag because this is a cold lead. I'm going to come in here and say that this person's cold, right? And because they're cold, they now are going to get my campaign within a few minutes. It doesn't happen instantaneous. Let's see if I refresh my screen if it'll show up or not. Sometimes it'll take up to like 15, 20 minutes to apply the campaign itself. Yeah, it's still not there, which is fine. Take some time sometimes. But it would come in here and it would say that the person was, oh, you know why I didn't get it? I'll tell you why. Going back to my smart campaigns, let's look at the cold campaign that I just built. Really important detail that I tend to leave out of here. My campaign's not on, right? So we leave campaigns off while you are building them, so nobody automatically or accidentally gets your campaign for you, right? You have to turn your campaign on. So flip it on. It'll say, hey, are you sure? Anytime that someone gets the cold hashtag, they're going to get this campaign. Are you cool with that? If you say yes, well, now going forward, whenever the hashtag is cold, somebody's going to get that campaign, right? So let's go back to that profile that I was just in. And let's go ahead and remove my cold hashtag. And let's add it again. See if we can't get that campaign to show up again. Sometimes it really does take a few minutes, but there we go. You can see it showed up right away. So now on the right side under here, active campaigns, I now have my cold lead nurture trip, right? So all because I simply added the tag, I got the campaign, right? So now what's going to happen is in 5 minutes, I'm going to receive a text message that says, hey, thanks for the phone call, blah, 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 blah. And then on day 30 is the agent is going to start receiving tasks, right? So I'm going to receive tasks here. I'm going to receive tasks within my Streams app, right? Like tying that back in together. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have gotten onto Streams yet. And we talked about that a little bit on our first call about a month ago. Streams, all the tasks show up in there for me to call or text or whatnot within here, right? Task here. I could see that anyone that I need to call is going to show up right here for me to do that day, right? It's going to come into here. Um, really cool stuff, right? Questions, comments, concerns. How, why, when. And again, like I don't have the end all be all solution, right? I believe in this. This works well for me, but it doesn't have to work well for you. Like as long as you got something, that's all that matters. Brenda, what you got?
I'm sorry you came out of the screen. I just wanted you to give me a little demonstration of the oh crap, my mind just left me. Newsletter.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can talk about that. Let's do it. Let me answer one question in the chat first, Brenda, then we'll go in and we'll do a newsletter together. That'd be fun. David, where can I get the playbook? Here, it's right here. I'll put it in the chat for you. Let me find it. It's somewhere in my downloads, I think. Here we go. In the chat for you, it's currently uploading. There you go. You can click that and download it. There's my PDF playbook that I use. Of course, man. Okay, Brenda, newsletter. Let's do it. I think that's a really fun topic to talk about. Again, the goal behind this call is to just get the wheels turning of what you can do with smart campaigns. The biggest thing we can do, right, is a newsletter, right? Everyone loves a newsletter. We love doing that. I'm going to show you how I have used AI to build out like fancy looking newsletters pretty darn easily, right? Like I say this hits a little bit different with the camera on right now, but I'm kind of dumb. Like I'm not the smartest guy in the world. And if I can figure out how to do this, I think anybody on this call can. All right, so let me share my screen again. So Brenda, newsletter, I would do the same thing. So marketing, smart campaigns, right? Smart campaign tile. I would add campaign. This time, I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't want a start trigger, is what I'm going to say, right? I want to manually put people on this campaign. And maybe you don't agree with that. Like maybe you want there to be like an automatic start for you, like hashtag or a deal being created or a new lead or like something like that, right? But let's say, for example, like you want to like manually put your people onto it, which is very simple and straightforward to do. You just simply check that I don't want a start trigger. It'll require you to manually add that campaign to somebody. And we'll do that here today. We'll say this is designed for everybody, right? Maybe no agents, maybe everybody but an agent. So we'll go ahead and select buyer, seller, renter, vendor. Again, your call. Next, we got to name it. I'll name this monthly newsletter. And what is this? This is a once monthly email newsletter. Review all that, right? So no start trigger, meaning I have to manually apply it. It's designed for pretty much everybody in my system. It's my monthly newsletter. It's going to send out once monthly email, right? Kind of just defining what it is. Perfect. Let's go ahead and save that. Uh, maybe save that. Let me do that one more time real quick. Da, 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 da. Don't want to start trigger. Sign for everybody. Next. Newsletter. Newsletter. Next. Finish. There we go. Okay. I think my screen just keeps freezing. A little weird. Let me see if it's saved. Okay, it did save. That's weird. My screen was just acting weird, I guess. Anywho, okay, so I have my monthly newsletter right here. You can see this is the one that I highlighted that I just built. You can see it's going to all these people, and that's everything we just put in here. So when I click into that, I have to build the campaign the same way I did before, right, Brenda? So add action. In this case, it'll probably be an email that we're doing, right? So once monthly email, I would assume, right? You kind of do what you want to do with it, but I'm assuming you're talking about a email newsletter. If I start email, same thing. I have to name it, who it's from, the timeline. So I'll say, okay, this is we'll call this monthly newsletter email number one. It's going to go from me, the agent, right, to the contact. And maybe I want this to happen on day one, right? So like the first time I put someone on this campaign, I want them to get my first email newsletter, right? So now you can start typing an email out, right? Put in your subject line, put in your content here that you want. But what you can also do is you can leverage AI to build you something that looks a little bit more fancy. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, and again, you might want to watch this part back. This might get a little confusing. Advanced Editor, if I click this button, it will allow me to drag and drop individual components, content into my newsletter, images, buttons, text, social media icons, video, like cool stuff, right? Like I can take some time and build this out here. Or you'll notice it also allows what's called an HTML content block. Okay, so if I drag that HTML content block over onto that screen and I click on it, it will allow me to copy and paste HTML text, okay, like an HTML block of code. So what I could do is now I can leverage AI and I can say that I would like to build me a monthly real estate newsletter that is geared towards my sphere of influence, include local market trends, and also events happening. Actually, yeah, we'll do events happening in the area. And then we'll say, I live in, this is where I live, right? And then go ahead and put my area in so I can see what it looks like and tell you how accurate it is. So I put build me a monthly real estate newsletter geared towards my sphere of influence, include local market trends and also events happening in the area. I live in Santa Clarita, California. Let's go ahead and send that prompt in and see what it comes up with. All right, I'll build this as a ready to send August newsletter using current Santa Clarita market trends and local events with a warm sphere focused tone. Okay, cool. All right. So here's my newsletter that it's building for me, which is nice, right? It's giving me, that's pretty cool. It's giving me market data and it's giving me things happening in the area, which is accurate, right? This is all real. I can confirm. This is real. Confirm that. This is awesome. Super cool. So it gave me an email that I can copy and paste, but let's say that I want to make this thing look like super pretty. Right now, it's just like copy and pasted text message or copy and pasted text, right? You know, how some newsletters they look like I don't know, they just look like they're a little more put together. I don't know how to describe it. Like you can tell it's not like a typed up thing. It's more of like someone actually like built something out. Well, what I can do is I can say convert this to HTML and give me code to copy. Now, what it's going to do, going back to my bold trail, remember I have that HTML block in here that I can copy and paste code into. So it's going to give me the code that I'm just going to copy and paste, and we'll see what it looks like. Again, you can take time to like say, hey, make it this specific color scheme, or hey, add my logo, here's my logo, or add my headshot, here's my headshot, whatever may have you. Add a button and link the button here, right? It'll add a button for you, so on and so forth, right? We're keeping it very kind of basic today. Obviously, you'll take more time to do this a little bit differently than I would, which is great. But for time's sake, let's go ahead and get this HTML code. I feel like I'm at the circus right now. There we go. Cool. All right. So now the code's done. If I copy it, right, I could now go back to my bold trail and paste it. And you'll see that I now have a fancy looking newsletter with local market data, events happening in my city,
Wow. I
and
like it.
I didn't do a darn thing. Right? Like it like it did
And
this
you
for
just
me. So
blew
again,
everybody's mind.
so like you can see there's a lot of things here that are like not filled in, right? Like you would want to take more time to like make sure this is all done properly, but you get the point. Like within a matter of 5 minutes, I don't even know 5 minutes, but a matter of 3.5 minutes, we just did this like super cool looking newsletter with market trends, local events, so on and so forth, that looks nice and pretty. So if I save this, right, save it as a template, now I got to add my subject line. So maybe I'll say like maybe I'll use this. Like maybe I want this to be my subject line. What's happening in Santa Clarita this August, right? Cool. Let's go ahead and make that my subject line. Um, and when I save it, there it is, right? Day one, my people are going to receive that email, right? That I just built. So, and possibilities are endless, right? Like I hope I got the gears turning, the wheels turning. Like you can take this and run with this however the heck you want, right? Do whatever you want to do with that stuff. But the capabilities are there. You got the technologies online to help you with this stuff now. I am super excited to see what you guys come up with. Alan, that's all I got, man.
Dude,
I
I
was kind
mean,
of
you've
quick
got to
today.
stop because already at this point, I'm like, you can't go anymore. It's too much to process. What everybody's
It's a
like,
lot. It's
I've
a
got a
lot.
lot of work to do. So that was such good stuff. Um, really, I mean, like the newsletter, I think just blew everyone away on top of it. So, does anybody have any questions for Adam?
Brenda,
No,
I hope that helps.
yeah, thank you so much. That was really awesome.
Yeah, go back, watch that recording back, tinker with it. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Next time we
Yeah,
chat,
I
I
am
want to
too.
see it.
Okay.
And don't forget, Adam has his office hours that he has. I think it's 1 o'clock our time
Yep. Yep.
in the
1 o'clock to two
afternoons.
o'clock your time. Yep.
And he's available. He is I've done it. I log in and I bug him all the time. And he really is there. It's a huge benefit. So please take advantage of this because he is a wonderful resource for us to be able to take advantage of. Not in a bad way, Adam, but we really do appreciate your time, brother.
Of course, man. Here, and I'll put the link in the chat one more time in case you
Okay.
guys have it. Little forewarning this week, if you do plan to come to these office hours this week, today and tomorrow, unfortunately, I have to cancel. I have a big training event that's going to go for about 2 hours each day that goes right in the middle of office hours. So
Huh. Well, we
today
probably
until.
won't be on that much over the next few days anyway. We have the Tom Ferry conference that we're going to be live
Oh,
streaming Tuesday,
nice.
Wednesday,
Very cool.
Thursday. So we're going to be doing that. And I do encourage everyone to please get in. It's a ton of great information, 6 hours of free CE every day. You get free lunch. I mean, it's a big win for everybody. So
Alan, I may hop in myself, man.
come on, brother. You just gotta come from California. That's all. So
All right, guys. Well, hey, I
Um,
appreciate you having me again as
one more
always.
question, Adam. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. What you got?
I don't believe I got full of questions today, but anyway, so is this link for us to talk with you personally, or is it a group?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking that question. So I run a daily office hours, which is open to any real estate agent that is a part of my book of business here at Bold Trail. So it is not a one-on-one style conversation. There may be multiple people in the call, but it is an open Q&A forum. So you can ask me questions. Everyone can ask questions. We can do things together. I can log into your account. Uh, I hope that
Okay.
answered your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you, sir. Thank you
yeah,
so much.
yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
being at office hours for a college professor. Same kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
professor. Yeah.
Yeah, don't call me that. Come on. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a
Thank
great day.
y'all very
Hey,
much. I'll
really
see you.
quick, Brenda, really quick, email me and ask for the link for his office hour. My email is broker@max1partners.com. I'll send you the info.
Okay, thank you.
Linda, same thing here. You guys are Greater Atlanta agents, so I have
Sure.
asked Greater Atlanta to put it in Paperless Pipeline as a reference section because that's where we put ours. So if you guys don't have it, just tag me personally via email and I'll send that over to you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Sure.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
great
Thank
Have a
day.
you.
good
Glad y'all able to join. Take care.